Jr Circus Train. This is one of the original rides that opened up with Disneyland Park. It is a classic. You see those arches to the right? Those arches are lit up and oh my goodness. It is so beautiful to ride on the train and on the Storybook Land canals at night. They are all lit up and it just looks so beautiful. This train was inspired by the 1941 Dumbo film, and the classic tune that you hear aboard the train was written by Frank Churchill and Ned Washington. There are a variety of cars to ride in, such as animal cages or ornate sleighs. I personally like to ride in the animal cages. I don't know why, but I like to get in the spirit of it. I love it. On board, you will tour miniature versions of classic Disney films, and they do have a frozen castle, which is so neat. Kids love it. The train has an original narrow gauge internal combustion powered railroad, which is pretty neat. Listen to the sound of the train. Don't you just love that sound? I know I do. Welcome to Storybook Land. This attraction opened on June 18th, 1956. I love this ride. It is so cute. And I know some of you don't like this ride because it's too slow. Hop on aboard. Hop on aboard. Anyway, some people don't like this ride because they say it's too slow, but let me tell you, it is so interesting. First, you enter Monstro the whale's creepy looking mouth, and you travel inside of his mouth, and on the other end is a world of gorgeous miniature cities constructed to mimic Disney's fairy tale stories. Walt originally wanted to construct this attraction experience after an attraction called Rotterdam, located in the Netherlands. Rotterdam was a miniature city constructed of landmarks and city streets, windmills, and many more. Walt loved the miniature world experience. He used to collect miniatures from around the world and also built miniature railroad stoves. The 8 original canal boats were named Cinderella, Daisy, Aurora, Alice, Feline, Flora, Fauna, Merryweather, Flower, Katrina, Wendy. Oh, by the way, these arches right here are so beautiful at night. I think I mentioned that when I talked about Casey's circus train. Back to the boats. Snow White and Tinkerbell. Then Belle and Ariel joined years later. Walt chose Ken Anderson, who worked on attractions such as Snow White, Peter Pan, and Mr. Toad's Wild Ride to work on Storybook Land. Ken did the primary work of designing this attraction, but also enlisted the help of Frank Armitage, Walt Pergeroy, Harriet Burns, and Fred Georger. A lot of detail was put into constructing these little miniature villages, as well as the electrical wiring too. Can't forget that. There's also another fun fact that Walt planted a bonsai tree in the landscaping. As you can hear that there's narration on the canal boats. Isn't that neat? Among the tiny villages you will see Aladdin's Agrabah, Snow White's Cottage, the village of Arendelle, and many more. Enjoy the rest of the ride. I love this ride.
It wasn't until Pinocchio saved Geppetto from the jaws of Monstro that the blueberries granted that wish. Also, the Oak Trading Post here on our left is having a big summer blowout if y'all want to check that out later. It's wishes like Geppetto's that led a little mermaid named Ariel to make boys to become part of our world.
Peter Pan's Flight. This is one of the original rides that opened with Disneyland Park in 1955. I remember as a kid thinking that I was really flying into a magical world to Neverland. Hop on board into the 3-passenger galleon and let's go for a ride.
Come on, everybody, here we go!
I mean, look at this. Look how magical it is. There's the River Thames. It's glowing. How beautiful. There's Big Ben. Hi, Big Ben.
Second start to the right, straight on for more.
Oh, look at the waterfall. Beautiful, beautiful. There's the glowing volcano. There's the rainbow. Oh, Peter Pan doing the Captain Hook. You can do it, Peter. You can do it. Oh, there's Peter Pan steering the ship. Uh-oh, don't fall in. Oh, there's the Mermaid Lagoon. We made it. We made it, everyone. Good job. How fun was that? I would ride that again. Disneyland Monorail System, an iconic attraction. It has been operating since 1959. How nostalgic is the monorail? Originally, the monorail system was simply a sightseeing attraction in Tomorrowland. A little history on the train. Bob Gurr, a Disney legend, built and designed the Mark I, which ran from 1959 to 1961. It became a transportation vehicle once the track was extended to the Disneyland Hotel. Wow, the monorail is going about 30 miles per hour right now. Pretty cool. The Mark II trains were modified by Disney Studios. The Mark III was built by WED Enterprises, Walter Elias Disney Enterprises. And the Mark V was built by Ride and Shaw Engineering of San Dimas, and also a German company. The Mark VII trains were built by TC. Oh, it's the monorail pilot.
Patrick will keep us safe, I hope.
Hi.
Of course.
This monorail currently transports guests from Tomorrowland to downtown Disney. Prior to constructing Disneyland's monorail system, Walt really loved the monorail and called it the highway in the sky. I mean, where else in California can you travel on a monorail? Only Disneyland, of course. The train is electric, very quiet and smooth. Enjoy the rest of the ride.
where you can dive into a fantastic underwater adventure aboard the Finding Nemo. As we cruise over Tomorrowland, our pilot would like to share a few program reminders.
Hello everybody, welcome aboard the Disneyland Monorail. Just a few quick announcements for today. There will be two fantastic shows over by the Rivers of America. One will be at 9 o'clock and the other one is at 10:30. The Disneyland Park does close at 12 o'clock midnight tonight. And that's when our final train will be departing the Tomorrowland Monorail Station. So if you'd like to head back to downtown Disney or to the hotels, I suggest being up at the platform by at least 11:55. On behalf of all the crew here, we'd like to thank you for joining us in the Highway in the Sky.
Very cool. That's how you earn your money.
The Disneyland Railroad! Woohoo! Love this train. This is a huge part of Disneyland. Now, if you're lucky enough to ride in the front cab, this is what it would look like. This attraction was working good and well on opening day in 1955. There were 2 steam engines operating. Engine number 1 was called CK Holiday. It was built by WED Enterprises. The design of it was inspired by Walt Disney's model train engine called the Lily Bell. Lillian was his wife's name. Super cute. And engine number 2 was called the EP Ripley, also built by WED Enterprises. Oh, don't you love that? Oh, I want to hear him ring that bell. Go ahead, ring that bell. How cool is that? Engine number 3 joined the team in 1958 called Fred Gurley. It is the oldest steam engine. It originally went into operation in 1894. Engine number 4 was called Ernest Marsh, added in 1959. And last but not least, engine number 5 was named after Ward Kimball, joined in 2005. Ward Kimball was part of Walt's 9 Old Men. He was an animator who also created Jiminy Cricket. And he was part of the inspiration for Walt to have the love of trains. I mean, these locomotives right here are just amazing. I love the vision of Walt, don't you? Enjoy the rest of the ride.